And good evening, and welcome back to the Football Fanatic podcast on a Monday evening. Where else would you be? Howard, Dan, and Massey. We had a great weekend together. It was very special. I enjoyed it. Did you enjoy yourselves, man?
Was great. It was
The
great.
fucking
Yeah.
the first fucking Football Fanatic podcast night out. Kieran and Lenny had joined us as well, and it got messy. And you know what? I'd do it all over again.
It was a
Yeah, it was
great,
well
great
worked.
night.
Well worked ahead. Good
Great,
night.
Very
great
nice.
to great to put a face to Dan's beautiful voice in real
Yeah, I
life.
never realized how fucking tall Howard was. He's giant of a man.
Oh,
That's
he
it.
He
You
was.
playing
never see it when
NBA
I'm
or
sitting
something.
down. Like, yeah, 7 foot, so two, I think.
Now you need to be taken down a peg or two. Well, Howard did on Saturday night. He should have been locked up for it. He abused the hell out of me in City and the trial and everything. Jesus Christ, he just took
Ah,
me down a peg or two, and I did
I was
nothing.
just getting the juice flowing, getting the debate going. Trying to
There was a point where
basically,
Jack was just leaning so far away from me, he was about to
Oh
fall over
yeah,
the
And,
chair because he was.
absolutely. I mean, it
and he
started
and he had no
off.
support. He had no
yeah,
support at all from
yeah,
any of us.
yeah,
No,
yeah,
my own brother was the fucking worst against me as well. Like, what do you call it? Yeah, it started off kind of nice and friendly, chatting away about City and the trial, expectations, what will happen. About 10 minutes later, like Howard is there kind of poking a fork at me and everything. But anyways, look, all in good fun. Weekend review. We're gonna start off, and Howard, I'm gonna on purpose start with you, Arsenal
good,
Brighton, because
yeah,
Arsenal got screwed over. And on the
yeah.
face of it, like I know you were saying it should have been a yellow to the Brighton player, Rice shouldn't have got sent off. I was disagreeing at the start, but now I've done a turnaround, 180. It was a very poor decision. I know
Yeah.
by the letter of the law, yes, Rice should have been sent off and was by the letter of the law, but given how minuscule it was, I think it was a very poor decision. So it was 1-1, obviously, dropped 2 points, title race could be over, but you know,
Yeah, title race
no,
You
done.
were saying it was over. I think is what you
no,
said. It's over.
No,
Done.
I was only
yeah,
joking.
that was
How,
next to. No,
how, what did you think? Like, I know you were fairly pissed off about
yeah, I think it's kind of. I thought maybe time, would heal, heal the wounds since I was chatting to you on Saturday night. But it's actually gotten worse, to be honest. The more times I'm on Twitter or whatever, you see the replays and replays of it, and it's just baffling. It's a
Are
like,
you watching it too often, do you think? Maybe you need to stop
yeah,
watching
definitely, yeah,
He's
yeah.
on.
No,
He's on.
as
He's on Twitter. I'd say abusing everyone.
Yeah, as Jamie O'Hara said, who's a passionate anti-Arsenal fan and a big Spurs fan, it was a disgrace. So it's if you're getting it from his view, it's disgrace. I think look, there's a couple of things. Um, if Veltman doesn't actually kick him, um, and Rice does, if Rice maybe doesn't even fall on the ground, he probably doesn't even get sent off. You know what I mean? If Veltman doesn't kick him and Rice actually tips the ball away, he probably again still doesn't get sent off. It's like Veltman actually kicking him and actually hitting him with his leg it
Yeah,
causes that
yeah,
causes
fair
the
point.
situation, which I found a bit mad. Like, look, we all heard it like that the ball is moving, it's not taken from the exact spot it should have been taken to. Like Rice tips the ball away. João Pedro did it in the first half, nothing. Like I was watching Sunday's games and like I must have seen maybe 6 or 7 times people, but like throwing the ball kind of not directly back at them or kicking it slightly away and nothing was done. It was just weird. And like I think it just comes down to like Chris Kavanagh being wanting to get involved in the game when he doesn't need to get involved at all. Like
You
it's a
were saying
nothing.
that you were saying this the other night, like he wanted to be the star.
Yeah, well, it just there's nothing there. Like there's just like you shouldn't be trying to like get players sent off or send them
Yeah.
off. Like like that's not the aim of like if someone's coming in for a leg breaking challenge and it's someone could get career ending like that's violent. That's a red card because you're hindering someone's from actually playing their career. Like this thing about touching the ball like a couple of meters away and getting a
Yeah,
second yellow card, being out for the North London Derby as well. Like it's
yeah.
just doesn't need to happen. Like they said on like what annoys me is like matches today. Oh, you man, Joe Hart and you might do who else was it? Danny Murphy. Oh, sure, he had no other option. He'd no other like this. It's just like how does he
What
not
did
have
they
another
mean he had
option?
no other option? What do you
Like
mean?
by the
What do they mean?
letter of the
The,
law,
the
like
ref
he
said
All
he
no.
right.
Yeah.
Okay.
gave he
Okay.
gave he gave Rice gave him no option other to send him off, and that for me, I'm sorry, is a joke of an excuse. If everyone is getting yellow cards for that, all season, it'll be in massive trouble.
Oh, like, all right.
If,
So
can I
you've been.
just
Sorry, Moss. Go
ask you,
ahead.
Howard,
Yeah,
if Pedro had got the yellow card,
yeah.
would you have accepted
You
Rice's?
know what, Mossy? What I would have accepted if I would have accepted a yellow card for Rice, but I would have wanted a red card for Veltman because what he actually did is actually violent conduct. He actually, like, by the letter of the law, if you want to keep going with that, he boots him in the thigh, like no intention to play the ball. He just kicks him in the like that's like I thought when that happened originally, it's like it's going to be a red card for Veltman, and then
Yeah.
all of a sudden Veltman gets nothing and Rice gets a second yellow. It's just weird. It just screams of Kavanagh was mad to send him off. Like maybe Rice was saying stuff to the ref during the game and he was getting pissed off at Rice or something like that. But it just seems like he was mad to send him off. He really wanted to get him off the pitch. And look, it's caused Arsenal to lose 2 points, and that is massive in the grand scheme of things. You know, if you don't get that little bit of a rub of the green against City, like you're not going to win the title. And when things go against you, it makes things, twice as hard.
Okay, but like you've been giving out with the ref. Fair enough.
Mm.
Veltman not getting any card, whatever. Is there anything to be said that Rice was needed to show a little bit more maturity? Like he shouldn't have got involved. We should have just kind
Yeah,
of
yeah,
walked away from it.
100%. But like in the heat of the moment, people do like it's not like he's like stood in front of him and actually, kicked the ball away. Like it's not like he's actually. I know what you're saying. Like maybe be more mature and all that, but like,
Yeah, like
yeah,
realistically, he didn't have to tap the ball away. He didn't
no,
have to
yeah, yeah. But in fairness,
Tip,
it's all
tip,
to do with the clever.
tap, tip,
It's the
whatever.
tip. He didn't
I've
tap it.
heard the term nudge as well. Nudge has
No,
been
yeah, but
included as well.
it was a flick.
A pl-
Tap,
flick.
tap, taparoo.
But the idea was, look, Veltman was trying to get him a second yellow card. Like he knew exactly what he was doing.
Yeah.
Like that was the whole, like Veltman like pushed the ball up right in front of him and kicks him. Like it's just like it's
Okay, fair.
deceit, like, you know what I mean?
During your stellar playing career, okay, over the years, have you ever tried to get somebody yellow carded, sent off? Have you ever kind of, ever done anything, not honest in a game of football?
Like you would have, I may have like theatrically fallen on the ground a few times in the penalty area. You know what I mean?
Okay,
Like
so
it
therefore
has
you
happened.
admit that, yeah, players do this. That's
Yeah,
what I just wanted to
Oh
get
yeah,
at.
players do that. Yeah, yeah. But like in the day and age of I wasn't going for Premier League now in my in my playing day. Cam
But to be fair,
Celtic's
Howard, do you think?
the farmer league, like you get, I don't know what you get as a winner, as a winner's prize, but maybe a couple of fresh bottles of glass of milk from the local farmer. That would be the height of the prize money in
What?
What league
fucking
were you
Cam
playing?
Celtic in the Roscommon Farmers League. But look, yeah, it's just at this day and age for that. For such a minuscule thing, what actually the punishment is so extravagant. Like 2 points lost, and now
Yeah.
Rice out for the North London Derby, and I just thought that's excessive for what actually happened.
Can he
Like,
can he appeal it?
no, you can't
No.
appeal 2 yellows.
Oh,
No.
okay, all right, fair enough.
You wonder though, like just I think a lot of the things that they're bringing in, like again, I know you could say there's kind of an argument as there are too many rules now in the game. Like
Yeah,
some of the stuff they brought in, like I like the kind of the way the league is flowing so far this year, like it's in the flow of games.
Yeah.
Like we did kind of have conversations last year about they were giving out yellow cards like confetti. We kind of come to accept now that if players are impetuous, they're asking for other people to be carded or whatever like that, they're getting booked, and I think that's a good rule.
Funny that
To kind,
just on that, like
yeah,
Danny Welbeck was asking for a second yellow card during that. There was a clip of him there, like, give him a second
okay,
yellow card, give him a
just
second yellow card.
yeah, but just to kind of look at it, like not just an isolated incident, right? So, for example, Rice flicked a ball and got a yellow card. Joe Linton, we talked about on the podcast here, clothesline the goalkeeper and got a yellow card.
Same
I'm kind of
referee.
looking at them going, yeah, yeah. So looking at it going, like, are them two offences worthy of a yellow card? Like, they've changed it this year that they have like balls all over the pitch to restart the game to get the ball back into play quicker.
Mm.
Again, the rule they brought in around the time wasting is a good rule. Like I think there was clubs that were clocking up serious
Yeah,
time wasting
100%.
last year.
Yeah.
So I think the flow of the game is actually really good. But like the fact whether Rice tapped the ball out or whether he actually booted into the stands, there's a football right there beside him that they can
Yeah.
actually restart the game when he get a goal. Now look, again, there's a difference between tipping the ball out or booting it into the stands, but I thought it was fair. It's harsh, and I do think that rule, again, letter of the law. But if there's a bit of common sense, which referees aren't allowed to use anymore,
yeah, fair.
I don't think that one was like going to store again. Like the ball was actually he tipped it out of play, but like you can't play the ball when the ball is rolling, so you would have to stop the ball anyway have taken a quick free kick if he wanted to do that.
Yeah,
So
yeah. So by the letter of the
uh,
law, technically he shouldn't have been able to take the free kick from there. Like it's not a free, like he should be able to kick it. So he's
yeah,
not delaying the restarting of the game because if he kicks the ball now in an instant, it's not actually a viable free kick. So the
yeah,
letter of the law is used for white people to just pick and
and,
choose when they want to fucking make decisions.
yeah, and it is, and that's it exactly because it's there. But I do think just even to talk about the game, like the game, I
Yeah.
thought was a good game. I thought Brighton played their part in it as well. Like there was a lot of chances. I think Arsenal, of course, lost
First
control.
half, yeah,
Yeah,
we were
when
good.
Rice got run off, I think that was the big game changer of the game. But Brighton played their part. I think Saka looks really on it as well. I think in particular in the first half, he gave what's your man saying, that weird name.
Hinselhood or something like that.
Whatever.
Hinselhood or something.
He gave him a rough time in the first half. He was very good. Yeah, I think like again, I thought Timber. I think that the Arsenal the red card changed the game. But I thought Arsenal were good. Probably should have been 2 up. And then Brighton are just going to be that kind of a team. I don't think any of the top clubs are going to like playing Brighton. Like Man United obviously have already lost against them. They're taking a point of Arsenal. Like that, they're just going to be, I think, a dodgy team because they have attacking threat. Seem to have no fear, and defensively are sound enough. I think they have enough experience at the back. Like you were saying, Beltman, he's an experienced player. Dunk, few of them at the back, so they're going to be a handful in that as well. But there's no doubt. I think Arsenal would have won the game. I think that red card
definitely.
hadn't come into play. You could see the change, and even the mood in the stadium like just went quiet. I didn't even know what happened. I messaged into our WhatsApp. I didn't know what happened for ages. I was like, what did he do? It was that subtle. I didn't really know what happened, like what he done. And there were, I think it was McCoy or someone on commentary was like the red card for Veltman. That's what I thought the red was as well. Anyway, that's just my thoughts on the game. Anyway, yeah.
Well, look, time will tell just how costly 2 points is this early. We'll see. Next game we're going to look at is the reason why Dan is so happy right now, and that is Man United 3 and Liverpool 0. Moss, how were you yesterday evening after the match?
After the match, I was actually all right because we were just so terrible that after 56 minutes, I was like, please don't be 7-0 again.
What went wrong?
I'll give them credit for the first 20-ish minutes. They kept their shape, looked relatively okay, and they conceded from an individual error that led to a mistake from Casemiro. Fair enough. These things happen. Even an elite player, which maybe he isn't anymore, but was, let it pass straight. But like you shouldn't be in a position that one bad pass leaves you with no fullbacks and 3-on-2. And he's repeatedly stuck with this system that hasn't worked. So to be honest, I was looking at it going, I've been very patient and loyal to Ten Hag, but I was looking at it going, I don't know what else I can say to defend him because his decision making in game was crazy. I thought Liverpool were good. I thought Liverpool were excellent. They worked really hard. They knew exactly how to hurt United, and we just kept giving like 3 goals from 3 individual mistakes. Only Szoboszlai decided that he wanted to show off. It should have been 4, probably could have been more, and you just can't operate. Like if he wants to operate with his fullbacks that high, he's going to have to switch to 3 at the back, I think. And they're like Casemiro. Look, he had a bad game. He gave away the ball 10 times out of 36 passes. He had a stinker, but he's been relatively okay since the start of the year. Like he hasn't been that bad, and he's been like he had to come off at half time. Fair enough. I didn't think bringing on Collier and changing the formation by putting Kobe, in the this deep line role and bringing 2 ahead of him made much of a difference or made sense because that's not where Collier usually plays. So I didn't understand it. Like Ahmad has been one of our better players in the first 2 games, but then he started on the bench. I didn't understand why he took off Garnacho other than he needed minutes. But like, yes, Rashford created 2 chances. Okay, fair enough. After that point, but like, he looked afraid to go by.
Yeah.
Or even attempt
But
to go by.
Mosley, he's not Harry Potter, as you said. He's not Harry Potter. So
Well,
as long as
I
we know he's
saw,
not Harry Potter, it's all okay.
the response though was if Harry Potter had 600 million, he would have would have been one book, right? So I look,
I heard
it
that,
was
yeah.
very demoralizing. I thought Liverpool were very good, but and the front three in particular were very, very impressive. Salah just added that touch of class, the delivery, finishing, superb. I thought Gravenberch for Liverpool was excellent, and they just looked extremely solid and nullified. We had we could have scored, I suppose, with Xerxes' two chances, but like we created little to nothing and didn't look so disjointed when we tried to transition into that attack. I was just looking at it going, I don't know where our goals are coming from. No matter how good Agartha is, he can't cover the positions that the spaces are being created by the system. We aren't as exposed as last year, which is even more worrying because we're conceding like nearly 60% less shots a game. And we're still 3 games in and we've lost 2. You know, it's a very bad situation looking at.
Okay, well, it's fairly obvious. So, like, you're pointing the blame at Eric Ten Hag. So, like, do you want him to go, and do you want one of the 2 assistants to step up, now, or would you wait? As Neville said, does he have until Christmas?
I don't think they will do that because the first big decision as the Ineos group management was to keep him.
Yeah, fair
Even
point.
though they publicly flirted with going with other managers. And if they give it 3-4 games to retract it, it's a very bad image for their management and their reign.
Yeah,
So
true.
I feel like they will push as much as possible. He could improve. I genuinely think there is a good manager somewhere in there. But I don't know whether it's the mess that has been United. I think there is definite improvements behind the scenes and whatnot. But on that game, yesterday, Liverpool are a different level, a different class to United, and they looked like they were cruising through that game, and
Yeah.
United didn't have any answers for them.
Fair enough. And now we'll go to the other side of that coin. Dan, how are you feeling about the game?
Yeah, I was surprised actually, of how easy it turned out to be. I would have taken a point pre-game based on our last couple of matches against United. I thought that it was could be a banana skin again to step up from what we would have played so far. Again, pre-match, that's what it would have been. Old Trafford is a difficult place to go to, regardless of what Man United you come up against. But I couldn't get over how easy it was. Like, you'd expect Man United, like home, especially after a bad result, to be on the front foot and have to soak up a bit of pressure early on. But like 25 minutes in, it just turned into complete dominance and control. Like, I was amazed as to how easy I think it was for us to play through midfield. And that's where we kind of done our damage. We just kind of found gaps, picked our pockets a few times. But even before that, before the goal, it's like there were constantly kind of getting in around Man United's box a few minutes before the goal as well. It was a really solid performance. Like, there is a few standout players, but I actually thought the man, they outworked, they outfought, and like Mossy hasn't mentioned it, but I think it's the real what would you say, deja vu of Man United is that when things aren't going their way, they completely fold like a deck of cards. Like, and that's the part that I've had friends, United friends, that's really the part that they're most annoyed about. They're about losing. You can lose to Liverpool, you can go opposite way, you can lose to Man United, but there's a way of losing, and they completely folded again, which they've done on numerous occasions where they stopped running. They were in the opening 20 minutes, as I said, putting in the ship, but like once it went 2-0, and even at the start of the second half, you think I could have them fired up, they'll come out and block the line. But in about 3 or 4 minutes again, it was back to the same as it was in the first half. So that is an issue, like, for them.
There's a real mental fragility there, Dan. Like you're saying, like
100%.
we've lost how many games? 6 games or something in the last couple of minutes. You see that fear, and it was once Liverpool, even the Trent Alexander-Arnold. If that goal had been allowed, I genuinely think they would have completely capitulated at that stage. There's just such fear factor.
And how do you fix mental fragility? So, what does Ten Hag need to do?
Well, my
my
worry,
opinion,
go on, Massey.
Yeah, you go on, Dan. You go on, and I'll come back.
I was going to say, my first issue with Ten Hag, and I put it into one or two. I don't get this. He keeps coming out with this rhetoric of we're the most successful team behind Man City because he won 2 cups. And to be honest with you, when you think about other players that are in that Man United team, they're not there to win fucking cups. Fair enough. Again, I understand Man United haven't won for a long period of time, but he's done it time and time again last season. There was excuse after excuse after excuse with him. It's the same at the start of this year, and even again, some of his even responses were bizarre in the aftermath of yesterday as well. Like I feel sorry for him to a point because he's getting lashed, as Mossy mentioned, and we kind of were both kind of touching on it that if things go bad early, it's going to be a complete fucking like joke shop and all social media and everything. That's what it is now. It's like complete onslaught of Man United. But like we've been here before on several occasions over the last number of years. But it can't fill you full of confidence. You've got coming out with these kind of statements. Like if you're, the big players, and like they managed to sign Bruno up to a new contract. Who, look, he hasn't started the season great, but like they have players in there, like good quality players. Like can't that mental part. There's a lot of like players in there, like Casemiro. There's other ones that have won stuff that have come in. They brought in, spent a lot of money. I think they spent second or third most this summer. Like so, they're being backed to improve and to be getting back into Champions League, things like that. But like they're just so whatever it is, the mentality thing. I think it goes back to the manager. Like think about all them players, and it was referenced by Carragher. I thought really really well on Sunday, like yesterday. They tried to get rid of him. They were trying their best, like Mossy mentioned there, but they actually couldn't find a manager. There wasn't many managers around, but they actually didn't want to keep. So again, you think of all them players that are there. They know that this manager is on probably thin ice. They've kept him kind of nearly in default. Like, that sets you off, I think, from the get go with a kind of a negative. Because I imagine a lot of them players probably thought in their heads, well, the season kind of tailed off in the league that okay, he's not going to be here next season. Yet here he is. So anyway, look, that's just again, I don't want to kind of we banged the drum on United and bashed into them several times in spots, rightfully so, at times last season. But like, it's just same old, same old. And I'm surprised. I was surprised of just how quickly like players can make mistakes, as Mossy said there. And that, but like again, one mistake shouldn't every time lead to a goal or nearly a goal. Like Liverpool could have scored 6 or 7 yesterday. Definitely should have had 5, I thought. On the balance of the game, and Salah should have scored another one, and Sebastian definitely should have scored. So like, that's that was the epitome, I think, of the just how quickly they folded. So that's kind of my Man United kind of bashing, but it just I suppose on Liverpool, they were very good. I think Bamberger was a big test from playing in that role, and I did think that he could be cause problems, but he was just so comfortable. Again, once the kind of press and United lost their shape, he was able to just maraud like gazelle. Like when he gets going with the ball, like, I don't know if you remember back to the start of his career at Liverpool, where he took it by Rodri and it just glided by him like he wasn't there. I think near early of last season, and I was kind of looking, oh, geez, this lad looks like for 25 million, like he's going to be a player. It didn't work out for him. He got a few injuries, but he never really clicked in the forward roles. But he's a different animal playing in the deep role, taking the ball in the half turn and just gliding by Man United's midfielders like they weren't there. So I thought he was excellent. And then I think Szoboszlai and Jata's running rates, I've just seen there was a thing on social media on that they ran more than their Liverpool player this season. Like they did work like dogs. So I think they worked hard for the result. And like they haven't conceded a goal. And like when you think of Liverpool even under Klopp, when we were going well, they'd always be giving up chances. The game management wouldn't be great. I know United carved out 1 or 2 chances in the end. For the majority of the game, like and all of our games so far, we kind of nullified most of the threats. So to go in with 9 points anyway, with a new manager, and again, you can see a style of play. You can see that, and I think, as I said last week on the podcast, the front three are clicking so well because it's just like they're it's a small bit slower or something. It's like they just have a bit more time to make a decision. It wasn't as frantic as maybe it was in Klopp. And it just seems like the likes of Diaz now, it's just everything is like his time nearly. He knows what he's going to do. Salah the same. Like it's not just kind of that kind of risk reward pass thing and that as well. And I think that's what the front three are clicking so well. So look, again, it's very early stages to be getting too excited. We're only 3 yet, but it's to go to Old Trafford in the third game and then again to play a promoted side in the first game away from home, like, and to kind of come through them with 9 points, I think is a good start. Yeah.
Yeah. No, fair enough. Yeah. What's he call it? Going well for Liverpool, not so well for Man United. We actually got a message in from a Man United fan as well, a bit of a plea. I got a message this morning saying they will remain nameless. Deck, please keep the United are a joke / shit club / laughing stock segment to a minimum tonight, lads. We know what we are, with a couple crying emojis. So Look, it can only get better. You know what I mean? It can only get better.
You'd imagine so. Like you'd imagine it like you spent a good bit of money.
Dan
There's
feels
players that
bad now. Look, Dan feels bad.
No, but
For
like,
slating him, he's trying to make it big.
No,
No, but
they're good. Like behind the scenes, apart from Ten Hag in the first team, like
yeah,
even the approach over summer, they bought like a 16-year-old lad from Arsenal. They bought an 18-year-old from I think Senegalese, like promising young players. The whole plan is changing behind the scenes. It's a structure behind the scenes. They will come good again. But I just, from a Ten Hag point of view,
Actually, hold on,
buy-in.
Moss. We had a lad on last season who it's almost like a carbon copy of what you're saying right now. We will come good. Things are being put in place, and I kind of believed him then, and it didn't happen. So I'm
About
gonna wait.
United.
Yeah, about United. Like, and I'm not laughing. I'm not taking a piss. I'm just saying. Actually, a couple, not even
What's
last
it,
season.
115 charges? Yeah, no.
No, that's coming. Don't worry, that's coming. All I'm saying is that those words have been spoken before, and I'm gonna just wait and see what actually happens with United again.
I believe it.
I think it won't change under Eric Ten Hag. And just after watching the start of the season, it's the same old. I don't see it. I
All
don't see
right,
it.
we'll
Yeah.
see. Just the rest of the fixtures over the weekend. We're not going to go into too much detail because we have a lot of predictions we want to make. West Ham 1, Man City 3. So Haaland, another hat trick again. He's come back a different animal again. Brentford 3, Southampton 1, Everton 2, Bournemouth 3. It's not looking good. They were 2-0 up in the 86th minute, and they somehow managed to lose from that point. So I mean, it's not looking good
That
at
was
all.
Bournemouth's first shot on target was the 86th minute, I think.
Jesus
Yeah.
Christ, like it's not good. And I don't know how he fixes it either because the players aren't there. Ipswich 1, Fulham 1, Leicester 1, Aston Villa 2, Notts Forest 1, Wolves 1, Chelsea 1, Palace 1, Newcastle 2, Spurs 1. Newcastle they're looking okay.
I
They're not.
don't.
Sorry, go ahead.
I know. I think that they've done well points wise. But I watched the games. I've watched all their games so far. Yeah, I don't think they've been great at all in any of them. Like they
I
got the result
disagree.
yesterday.
The Tottenham
Yeah,
game, they
no,
were there. Now the first two, I thought they were poor enough.
yeah.
But I
But
thought the
like,
first half there in the Tottenham game, they played well.
yeah, but I think at the balance of the game, though, I thought maybe a draw would have been a fairer result. I don't know whether or not Newcastle have done enough to win the game. Like they got
Yeah,
a goal, was it on the break? But yeah, I haven't been that impressed with them. And like they've had a horrendous transfer window as well. So like they don't have players really to come in. Bartonelli, you'd say,
yeah.
who's coming
Yeah.
back like a new signing, but like they didn't
What
get a
did you
centre
call
back
him?
in.
What did you call him last season? Howard
Rolls
Tonali?
Royce, was it?
No, I had a
I,
word for him.
Adam Driver, wasn't it?
Adam Driver
Driver.
with chiseled cheeks.
The image of Adam Driver plays center mid, yeah, for Newcastle.
Yeah, I just haven't. I know points wise, but I just don't think they're that team that they were a couple of years ago. I don't see them. I think it'll be an up and down season for them, and I think yeah, I don't know. They're just there's their risk. They didn't sign anybody this summer, so how you expect them to be any better? I suppose.
It's funny though about Spurs though. Like they played Leicester off the park and drew 1-1. They played Everton 1-4-0, and they had so many chances against Newcastle. They should have won that game and to lose.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, it's just Spurs being Spurs. Like
Yeah, they could have 9 points, Massey. You know what I mean? Like, and he goes,
easily could. They should.
and that's kind of
based on the performance.
so what I'm saying is it's Spurs' performances and results could be in the North London derby where they put a big one and start going from there. But they look like they're going to win games. Where I think Newcastle are they're sliming results, and I don't know how long you go on doing that. Like if they don't improve before they start getting found out.
They're what results?
They're sliming them like they're kind of not playing winning ugly, I suppose.
That's not a term.
It's not.
That's
I don't
a
think
me
it's at all, is it?
The term
They're
of Dan
slimy.
Coulter's
They're slimy.
You come up with words every now and
slime
then.
and results.
Yeah,
You come up with odd phrases. You were slurring your
Yeah.
words the other night. Now you're just coming up with made up words.
Yeah, they're kind of like Wesley Schneiden. They're like really schneiden. They're like just kind of. Anyway,
enough.
I don't know. I wouldn't be holding out that
Okay.
much. I wouldn't agree with you, basically.
All right, that's okay. You're entitled to your opinion. Prediction Monday. Now that the transfer window is closed.
Prediction Monday.
Prediction Monday. Transfer window is closed. 3-week games gone. So I want to get the predictions for each of these four. The winner 3 Champions League spots, Europa League 2, Conference League 1, winner of the FA Cup, winner of the Carabao Cup, 3 relegation spots, top goal scorer without Haaland, and finally, what will happen with the Man City trial? Mossy, you're going to have your time. Okay, so right, we'll get the kind of more lesser, I don't want to say less important ones, but the kind of the lower ones. So we'll go with Carabao Cup and FA Cup winners to start. So Howard, what do you think? Give me Carabao Cup winners first each week.
I'm gonna go with Liverpool for the Carabao Cup.
Okay.
And I'm gonna go. Oh, that's it. Yeah.
No, that's all right.
That-
And Dan, I
Um,
know you don't think much of the Carabao Cup actually.
no, and I kind of,
Even though it was your only cup to win last season, like.
yeah, like I kind of, well, I think it's like Europe will obviously take precedent with the European clubs. It's like you're looking at then squad. I can't think of any of the clubs that maybe aren't in Europe that will win. That'll win us. It's going to be some with a big squad. So I'll go Liverpool as well. But like,
of
again,
course, got there.
it's
Okay.
either Liverpool or City. That's I'm
I'd
looking at
say
going.
Liverpool
it's
might
Liverpool or
slime
City.
it, Deck. They might slime the.
Yeah. The kids. Is there any kids left they can put out?
Yeah,
No,
they're all sold.
oh God.
Uh,
Yeah,
um,
I go Liverpool, but you're like,
okay.
yeah.
What do you think, Moss?
I said I'd go outside the mold for the Carabao, and one that I actually would be hopeful or would like to see would be for Brighton with all their development to
Right,
get
yeah.
themselves a
It
cup.
would be nice actually to see like an odd winner. You know the way every now and again along comes
Yeah,
like
does happen. Does
a
happen.
random team. Portsmouth to win the FA Cup, Wigan to win the FA Cup, Leicester have won the whatever the Carabao Cup was called a couple of times. But yeah, no, it's always nice to kind of see a random winner as well. So you're going for Brighton. That'd be an interesting one. That'd be a huge thing for that club, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I just think they spend
Abs-
so much money. They're well run. It'd be great.
yeah.
Kind of condoning of the way that they run their club.
I'd like to see someone like Brighton win it, someone like Villa, maybe. Even fuck it, Spurs. You'd like to see Spurs. I know Howard, you
No.
might not, but I think I'd like to see Spurs just
I
get
think I'd like to
some.
see Ange being like successful and being
Yeah.
like, yeah, I did well there. It's just
Yeah,
as he plays
not
literally
with Spurs. Yeah.
football. Not with Spurs.
Okay.
Bring down Celtic.
What do you call it? FA Cup.
Can I change my prediction? Sorry, Chelsea.
Chelsea, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. No, of
That's
course
good. That's a good shout, actually.
I
you're
just
not
decided I looked at the third round draw going we West Ham like I think we'll win but we could get knocked out by them and I was like going right who else has a big squad speaking of squads Chelsea so I think someone with a big squad is needed to win that I'll just go for
given
Chelsea.
given the fact that our 4 teams are in Europe, like, you know, would it bother you if your team were knocked out in the third round of the
It
Carabao?
never bothers me. No, I'd be happy enough. I've said this and I know it annoys people but I'm happy enough. I take that competition seriously when you get to the semi-final. Is the 2 legs is gone, isn't it? No, they got rid of 2 legs now. We're looking at
Actually,
Yeah,
getting
I
rid of
think
2
so. Yeah,
legs in it.
yeah, for
Is it
condensing
gone?
the
Yeah.
fixtures they have. Yeah.
No, fair.
So
Howard
yeah,
or Moss, if it bothered you if you got knocked out in the Carabao
no,
Cup?
not at all.
Jesus
Not at all.
Christ.
I'm gonna
Moss,
take everything we get, lads, to be honest. So
absolutely. It's fucking mentality you have. You know, you don't care about the
Yeah.
Carabao Cup. A cup is a cup. If you win that cup in February, it launches you for the rest of
yeah,
the
but I'm just
season.
saying,
Like,
I like think about it, like
weak
when you
mentality.
look, well, yeah, but when you look at the what's on offer, it's again, if you get to the semi-finals, of course you want to win the cup then. But like, am I, am I kind of like going? That's going to take a bit of a toll if we were to play our strongest team
Exactly.
that
That's the
competition
thing, like.
on the Champions League, which I want to get into the latter stages of. So I'd happily, if you were saying to me like over the board, like same to you, Vector, if you were going to
Okay.
lose one, you'd happily lose that one.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
All right, we'll move on to this Carabao Cup. FA Cup. What do you think? Howard?
I'm gonna go for Arsenal for this one. Just
You
a bit of
love
history with our
winning
FA
the
Cup.
FA Cup, don't
I
you?
think Arteta really needs to get some sort of trophy under his belt this year. We've been knocked out too early in the cup
When you
competitions the
say
last
that,
couple of
like,
years.
is there an or? Like, if he didn't win a trophy this season,
I think there were questions to be asked because like he's got so close in a lot of in Premier League and that he's got so close, he's brought the team up to another level, but we haven't actually got it in the show for it. So I think he needs to start focusing and getting getting the trophy hunt on the way. And I think we've just gone out too early in a lot of cup competitions over the last few years. And it just kind of it puts more pressure on the end of the season when you
True.
don't
You
have
have a better,
the-
you have better squad as well, don't you? This year, like
yeah,
you're
have
a
a
bit
better
stronger
squad,
squad.
but you know what? It does impact. It kind of puts it all your eggs in one basket, and it kind of puts more pressure on the players then to deliver against the juggernaut of City. Like so, you know, it's a bit more difficult. I think
It keeps,
it
yeah.
eases a bit of kind of risk if if you have an FA Cup final coming up near the end of the season.
All right. Moss, FA Cup.
I went for Liverpool. I think Slot will be very happy to finish the season with a trophy, a solid trophy like the FA Cup. And the way they started, they have Salah finishing up, Van Dijk finishing up, possibly Alexander Ireland, maybe them all out of contract if it's not sorted. It
That
would be
trophy,
a nice way to market.
that trophy would shine very well off his head, I'd say.
Yeah.
Dan, FA Cup.
I think I can't look further than City, just given how well they are second half of the season. They look unbeatable every year. So I think that'll kind of just steamroll, keep winning, get into that winning feeling after Christmas. And I think, yeah, they again, I think no more than the Carabao Cup, you need a squad. So they'll win the FA Cup again. No,
Well,
sorry, yeah, I don't think they won last year, but they've won a few of them, haven't they?
yeah, the
Last
last
year,
couple of
it's
years wouldn't do them.
yeah.
Right, so relegation, 3 teams to go down. Moss, we'll start with you. Who do you think's going back down?
I went Southampton because they're trying to stick to principles that they just don't have the players to implement. And they just look like a team.
Will Ramsdale do much, do you think?
Maybe, but when your centre halves aren't able to do what
Yeah.
Yeah,
they
fair
out from
enough.
the back like the way we are, I don't think the keeper is going to be able to save you. And they've
was a-
been their own worst enemy in 2 out of the 3 of the games they've played, so lost so far. So I would be concerned about Southampton. So I have them going down. I have Leicester going down on the Prince idea, but mainly because is there going to be points deductions there? I don't know. So I have an asterisk beside them. And then I don't. As I said to you earlier on there, I'm hoping Ipswich have a good year, so I said I go away from them. And after watching Everton concede that goal at 2-1 up in the 87th minute, and then just like capitulate like something I've never seen before. They must have conceded 3. They could have in that time Jordan Pickford made 2 amazing saves. So I was like looking at Everton going, they started bad last year. I hope it picks up because I really like Sean Dyche, but
Yeah.
unless things massively improve, Everton who are going down in my opinion.
All right, so Hampton, Leicester, and Everton. Interesting. Dan, your 3 teams to go down.
Yeah, like pre the start of the season, I thought the 3 that came up had a much better chance of staying up than the 3 last year, and I still maintain that, even though I'm surprised maybe of how bad Southampton's start was. Even though they definitely could have got something, I think at Newcastle they were a bit lucky in that game, but they haven't obviously started great. They have spent 100 million though. I don't know if you were looking at that. Like they spent money in the summer, so I still think that they'll drop. I'd be with Mossy there a bit around Leicester. I'd question mark over if they get a points deduction or not, because I think it will be tight down there. So I think that they did get one, they could drop. But I'm concerned about Wolves. The start they
Yeah,
made,
absolutely. Yeah.
you can't keep every season selling your best players season in, season out, not really replacing them. I know they've signed a couple of players, but a couple in, but I had a question mark over them, and a question mark over Forest. I found this quite difficult. But I come to the conclusion anyway. So Hampton would definitely go. I'm going to say loosely Wolves, I think, could be in trouble. I think it'll be tight enough down there, and I do concern about them. Even though I like Gary O'Neill, I think he's a good manager, but I don't think he's really financially. They've been a bit screwed over the last couple of years as well. And you know what? I actually think that we talked about in the podcast here last week around Nick. Maybe Onana looks like he was a bigger player than we all thought. That's Everton's Onana, and like their Braithwaite, he doesn't look like he's going to be back for possibly a while. So it's a real un-Everton like when they conceded 10 goals in their opening 3 games. Their squad is so light. They've signed, I know, Bora. So I'm going to go. And even though I'm a big fan of Daichi, I think that it's going to be very tight, but I think they actually could drop. So I'm going to put them in with Wolves. I think Ipswich have been backed well and have a good manager. So I think they'll stay up. So I'm going to go Everton, Wolves, and Southampton.
Everton, Wolves, or Southampton.
Yeah, the Everton one is when you look at their squad there. I had a look at it.
Yeah.
Fuck
It's
me. They signed
weak,
your man Mangala. See that the man that they got rid of
Yeah.
to Valencia. They're getting him back on loan. Like they are literally scrimping at the bottom of the barrel there. So he's going to have to work a miracle, I think. And again, they're very volatile fans when things aren't going well.
Yeah.
And he could be in trouble. You know, they've I think I looked. Their next 2 games are away, so he could
Okay.
go 5-5 without a win. You know, so
Fair enough. Howard.
Yeah, look, pretty similar view there to that. Like, it's just they have a bit of quality, like, you know, Everton with Calvert-Lewin, if they can keep their squad fit, like, but it's just how much of a run they're going to go on without picking up points would be the question. I'm gonna, yeah, they've been threatening relegation for a while. I'm gonna go for Southampton last. I'm gonna have Ipswich in whatever 19th place, whatever it is. And I'm gonna
Yes,
have
it's
that's
19.
like yes, I heard.
19th place.
18, 19 to 20th. Yes,
Just remember,
It's the
yeah,
same every year, Howard.
just remember that Ipswich will be number 19.
Okay.
Just for the record. And then I'm gonna have I'm gonna go for Everton. I think Ipswich, McKenna, like he's been great in the championship, but like, you know, they were probably the luckier out of the 3 coming up.
He's a bluffer, is he?
Well, I just think that they'd been the luckier out of the 3, I think, coming up. Well, maybe Southampton as well, but I just think Leicester out of the 3 of them have the best chance of staying in the league. And I think Leicester have started the season well, to be honest. They've looked decent.
Yeah.
Vardy's back to his old tricks again. Like it's
He's
a bit of a
38
blast.
now, is he?
It's a bit of a blast from the past watching him again.
Absolutely.
Thing is, though, Ipswich have been back though. Like they have actually backed them.
Yeah, I know,
They
but I
up.
suppose yeah. But it's a different story when they're actually you know, like there's loads of clubs that are
They're
back
picking
that
up points
buy
against
shite,
teams
like
like Fulham. Picking up
yeah.
teams against Fulham is an all right return for them.
Yeah.
If they can do all right in those 3 o'clock games that no one really wants to watch, then they'll have a chance.
We'll see.
Hold on. What do you mean by that? Explain that sentence. I don't get that. What do you mean?
You know those 3 o'clock games that you're like, oh, this is going to be 1-1 nil all. Like Wolves and Nottingham Forest there the other day. I was like, oh, I'm probably not going to sit down and watch that for 90 minutes, if I'm honest. So
interesting. Fair enough.
they're
Interesting.
the games you need to win.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay, I get you. All right, 3 relegating teams. So, right, so 2 Europa League spots. So that's 5th, 6th, and the Conference League spot 7th. So give me your 3 teams for those. Howard.
I'm gonna go for Chelsea in 5th. I'm gonna go for Newcastle at 6th. And
I would have thought, given your hatred of Chelsea, you wouldn't have had them anywhere near.
No, I don't want them there. I don't want
You think
them
they
to
will be?
there.
Okay.
I just think they'll go. They'll have dips and peaks and troughs during the season, but I think overall they have enough to get maybe 5th place.
Okay.
Then I've Newcastle there, and I'm gonna go for Spurs.
Spurs. Okay. 5th, 6th, and 7th. Chelsea, Newcastle, and Spurs. Interesting. Dan, what do you think?
Yeah, I think again pre the match the weekend they would have had United down for 5th.
Right.
I'm just concerned now with Eric and the shenanigans of whether or not, but I would have had United 5th with a small bit of that they might get the Europa League into the Champions League,
Okay.
or the coefficient. So I'll stick with them 5th for the moment. It's early days. Chelsea 6th, and I'll go for Brighton. I think because they know European competition. I think Villa or Brighton for 7th, but I'm gonna go Brighton.
Villa or Brighton for 7. Okay, very good.
I'll go Brighton. Yeah.
Interesting. United.
I think that manager's going to surprise us. The Brighton one. No.
Yeah, absolutely.
So who do you have? Who do you have done? United.
Chelsea.
I think yeah.
United, Chelsea, and Brighton. Okay.
Yeah.
Moss.
I'm pretty similar in a different order. I went Chelsea 5th, Brighton 6th, United 7th.
Brighton are getting a good old.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
they don't want to end up in the conference again, Mossy. Fuck me.
We're not in the conference. We're in the Europa.
Oh, sorry, Europa. Yeah. No. Sorry. What's it not 5th, 6th?
I never tried the conference. Europa? I'm hoping it doesn't happen, but you know, it's European football.
Get your facts right, Dan.
Sorry, yeah, they won the
True.
FA Cup that got them into the Europa. They finished the 8th last season. Do you reckon he spent 180 million and finished one place higher?
To be honest, after watching yesterday, I'd nearly take it. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Look, Dan, take it easy, all right?
Progress.
Sorry,
Take it easy,
sorry.
all right?
Progress.
Little by
So,
little.
Arteta did
Iceland
it for 2
finished
years,
fifth.
Yeah, exactly.
Little by little, all right? I'm gonna throw in
Yeah,
Oasis
yeah.
references for the last half hour and see how many I can fit into the last 25 minutes. All right, so come here. That's relegation done. 5th, 6th, 7th. Top goal scorer without Haaland. Moss.
Yeah, you kind of threw this one at me as a bit of a curveball, to be honest. I was going Haaland without doubt, but then without Haaland, I think there's a couple of candidates. Like, I don't think Ollie Watkins is, I don't think he's firing all cylinders yet, but he probably will get a good few goals in that team. I think Solanke is someone I definitely have under consideration for considering the amount of chances that Spurs are going to create. But I think I'm going to go with Palmer for Chelsea.
Hey, that's an interesting one.
He's
Palmer and his interviews.
Yeah, like he doesn't interview well, but man, can he play with football? Like,
Yeah, fair enough.
Neither does that dope.
He's
Phil
involved in
Foden.
everything.
2 dopes.
Say that again, Matt. Say that again.
You were saying Palmer and Foden. Either of them interviewed. They're both 2 dopes. They're being interviewed. Both of them.
No, come on. Have you heard Foden? Like Palmer, obviously, look, he's a fantastic footballer. I'm not going to call him a genius yet, but he's gifted. But my God, when you put him behind a microphone, like the lights are on.
Cold. It's pure cold.
Oh, absolutely.
I just want to add that I assumed when we weren't using Haaland, I wasn't going to Salah, so that's why I went for Palmer, to be honest. So, because they're on the same number of fantasy football points, aren't they, Haaland and Salah, Dan?
We get onto that, Massey. Don't you worry.
Yeah, we're going to skip that segment
Trust the
today,
process.
Right? Trust the process. Very good. Dan, you went with Palmer.
No,
Massey.
Sorry, that was Massey. Sorry, Dan, who's yours?
I think I would say Solanke would have been probably one that would come to mind, or Son. So I go for Son. I think that one or either one of them maybe. Yeah, it could be easily be Salah, but I think I go for someone a bit outside of it. I think I go for Son. I think. Okay. Yeah, I go for Son.
Howard.
Yeah, I'm gonna go for a controversial one now. I'm gonna go for my guy Kai.
Really?
Kai Havertz. Like if he starts, like realistically, he's going to be playing up front now for every game for Arsenal. He's going to be starting there, so he could easily get 20 plus goals during the season. So
that's the thing. Like
the thing is, he's always had an issue right for the goal for like being perfectly good at finishing. You know what I mean? That's been his main issue. But if he can sort that out, he will score a handful of goals because his movement off the ball. So here, some would say he's electric.
Oh, I like it. He's electric, but fair enough. I like it. Very, very good.
He needs to go all around the world to score a fucking goal, though.
Oh,
you can't get
all around the box.
I like it. Very good.
No, but yeah, look, it's just it's a bit of a punt, but like he could get 20.
What did he get last year? What did he get? He got 12 or 13, did he, last season?
Yeah, he got like he started playing up front after Christmas. I think he had something like like 18 or 20 something goals and assists after Christmas last year. So look, we'll see. But I'm going for that. I'm going for that left field, that non-biased.
That's definitely interesting. But like I wouldn't think that he'll get anywhere near that. But I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if I was very wrong at the end of the season and he did get a lot of goals. But
yeah, like the goal he got there at the weekend now was a goal I thought he'd miss.
Great goal. Great goal.
Like that was a positive.
All right, top goal scorer. I'm going to leave the City opinion to the final one. So winner and Champions League spots. So give me kind of your top four. So at the end of the season, Massey, we'll start with you.
I really debated with this one because I fancied the Arsenal start the season, but I was looking at City and they were playing in the
Declan Rice kicking the ball away. He'll really,
title is over. Like
that's it.
Time wasting, so he was.
Yeah.
Look, I'm going to go City, the champions. 5 in a row. Wouldn't that be it, Dick?
Oh yeah,
they won it this year.
A fantastic achievement. And according to Howard, he was saying the other night, if we won 5 in a row, like nobody would care. Nobody would give a shit.
That's it. Look at that mic
Did
drop.
say that, to be
That's
fair,
it.
yeah, he did. None of us disagreed with him, but yeah. City to win, Arsenal second, I have Liverpool third, and I have Villa fourth.
Villa. Even though they have Europe, you don't think that'll be a factor this season?
It could be, but I think
How
there
far do you
is.
think Villa could go in Europe, actually? Just a side
I
question.
think with Emery in charge, and they've brought in some good players. They have a bit more strength and depth, particularly defensively. I think they've got good options. So and they've probably a front six that you would rotate and be happy enough with quality of any of them. Like taking off Ollie Watkins, bring on Duran. Like you're like, all right, they're both scoring like high enough quality. So I wouldn't be crazily surprised if they got to kind of the last eight. Might not happen at all. It could be
Yeah,
completely
fair
opposite.
Oh, what?
But yeah, I wouldn't be
Quarterfinals?
shocked. Yeah, but
All
that's just
right.
getting through. Like, come to
Okay,
top eight
so
to get through. Like,
Yeah.
Villa, Liverpool, Arsenal, and City to win. Yeah.
yeah,
Thank you very much for standing by me. There you go.
Nice.
Dan, winner in the Champions League spots.
Just the way Haaland has started the season, that's going to be the difference maker, I think. Like
Mm.
where Havertz might get, 20, Haaland will probably get 40. So I'll go for City to win it. Arsenal second, probably tight again.
Yeah.
Liverpool third and Spurs fourth.
Spurs fourth. Okay.
Yeah,
Interesting.
yeah. I think once it clicked for them, but some good young players as well. I think they've kind of done a bit of a clear out of a few of the shite bags that they've had for a long time there that have never worked. So I think they'll do all right. Just need to, again, it'll be interesting to see, can they be a bit more disciplined defensively. I think if they can, they'll be in the shake up on yeah, attacking wise they've again Son, Solanke, they've so yeah, Madison as well actually as well. He's I think really key to them. So yeah, them from fourth.
All right. Now, Cabbage, what do you think? Howard, my
Takes me
apologies.
back. So I would
Is that an Oasis
say,
song?
No, it's just a fucking name.
yeah, it's like, where's this?
Cabbage.
What I was gonna say, I actually same as Dan, but I'm gonna be bold and go for Arsenal first and
Oh,
City in second. I just, I'm going with my heart ahead of my head. But to be honest, like I really felt positive about the season, but like just with Marino getting injured as soon as we get him, and then you know Rice gone. It's only very early on in the season, but I just felt like it's going to be a great start with the players we had, but it seems like there's just been one or two hiccups, and just I'm hoping that them hiccups won't end up being a problem down the line. But I think like after once they get their team firing, like, and I think Marino's going to be a class signing for them. Once they get their team firing, especially after Christmas, I think Arsenal are going to be seriously hard to stop. But the question is, what position we put ourselves in at that stage, to be honest.
who plays the right into the right side actually? Sorry,
Yeah, that's a
bring
good
me down.
question. Yeah, like, so they have a few different options. If Jesus is back, they could play Havertz in the midfield in the eight,
Oh yeah.
and then Partey back. But I'd say what he'll do, what would he do? He could play Jorginho and play Partey in the eight. It's a bit of a problem, to be honest.
Yeah,
Having him
yeah.
missing, like, because Marino's gone as well. So just the two of them are play in the eight position at the moment, like, so it's a bit of a pain in the ass. But yeah, look, I'm gonna go for it. See what happens.
Arsenal, City, Liverpool, and
Yeah. I'd say like if everyone, like, if Arsenal won at the weekend there, like, Mossy might have a different opinion, and maybe if Haaland didn't get a hat trick, Dan
It's
might
the
have had a
Haaland
different
thing.
Haaland. Yeah,
Jesus, like
yeah,
how do you you have a striker there who's going to probably bang in 35, 40 goals? Like
yeah,
the
how do
hope
you
that it's the hope that kills you.
yeah,
like? Yeah, I know, but it just like Arsenal will get goals from other areas, but
Yeah.
like Martinelli, question mark, jury's out on him. Saka has started the season well. Can Havertz, you said he's going to have to be putting in decent numbers. I think they could be light though. Like if he was to get injured, you can't lay your hat on this. He could be light, in I think you could have done with an extra one. I thought in the forward line again. I suppose Raheem the Dream, which we never mentioned, will be. It'd be interesting to see how he gets on. How
I think
Dirk
he'd be
Woody,
good. I think
yeah,
he'd be
yeah.
good. I'm coming around to it now. Coming around to Raheem the Dream.
After no fucking choice.
I know,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. But like, I tell you, like, he could play well in a good team, like, you know what I mean? So
No,
let's
look,
see.
absolutely. I've said it to you a couple of weeks ago, and he laughed at me that Raheem could end up at Arsenal by the end of the window, and he did. So,
He did
all
in the
right.
end, yeah.
Okay, that's all our predictions. Apart from the big Manchester City trial. Now, I don't want a big long spiel, Dan. Looking at you. You know, we'll get to that. The trial will happen in November, and we'll cover it in detail. But I just want to know what you think will be the outcome. So, what's it going to look like whenever the verdict is given out in spring? What's it going to look like for Man City? So, give me your three opinions on that. Dan, we'll start with you.
Like I know what should happen, but what
Yeah.
I think should happen, what will happen. I think it'll probably be some
Yeah.
sort of settlement job of some description, where it'd be an actual settlement, probably not, but like, you know, kind of a fine, big juicy fine, and maybe like a fucking transfer ban and a few points deducted. It won't be anything that will hit City long term, which is what I think should happen if they're found guilty. So that's what I go for, and I won't ramble on because we'll be covering it several
Okay.
times.
All right.
So that's what I think will actually end up happening. Fine, points deduction of sorts. Don't know whether or not it'd hurt them. The only way it could hurt them maybe would be if it was points deduction that came out and gave Arsenal the title if it was tight. That hurts them a bit, but I don't think it'll be as big as we think it'll be.
Yeah.
And
I don't.
again,
I don't think like I like as an Arsenal fan, I don't think I'd like to win the title that way either. Like, you know what I mean? It's kind of a.
You'll take what you get.
You'll be over there fucking
You'll fucking
t-shirt
absolutely attacking me with a fork.
Celebrating.
Can I just say
I would though. I would change it. Like if you won the title in that way, like, you'd be like, yeah, you won it, but you didn't win it. Like, you know, take away.
Yeah, but
Dan, go
just
ahead.
no, but just on the you know, points, fine, transfer ban, whatever like that. Like, the talk seems to be, and again, there's no concrete on it, but like that the 115 when it gets to the trial, it's not going to be 115. So that'll be interesting to see. Again, it wouldn't sound great if you're hoping for a City get shafted verdict. If that is what happened in the can't remember what the name of it was, but basically they had I can't remember what it was called, but the hearing or whatever you want to call it that they had already. The talk is that some of them it mightn't be 115, that some of them might have got binned. So that again wouldn't give you full of confidence that is the case, and that's what I feel it could be the case, that they might have managed to get a few of them turfed out or whatever. So yeah, that's my thoughts on it.
All right,
yeah, I think they should get liquidated though. Yeah.
Say that again.
As you said, I said it here last season. I think they should be liquidated. They should just not exist anymore if they're found guilty.
Just gone. Okay, so that's Dan's opinion prediction. Moss, I'm gonna leave Howard to last because he's odd and funny. So.
You know he's going to say what hurts the most.
Yeah, exactly, man.
Look, yeah, I think realistically what's going to happen is if the Premier League, if they really were punished for all the charges that they have, then City are open to be sued by all the different teams that missed out on leagues and finances, etc. So it turns into an absolute chaos storm that the Premier League that undermines and devalues the entire league. That they don't want that to happen. So I would expect that it will be something similar to that, some level of slap on the wrist, maybe a 1 or 3 to 6 point deduction and transfer ban or fines, etc. And I wouldn't be overly worried about the 115 being whittled down. That wouldn't be uncommon for a big case. Like, they'd go with the ones that are the strongest cases and whittle down the evidence, the ones that are most convincing. But I can't see it being much more than that, because I think it throws the whole league into disrepute if it is what we were.
It's happened before. It's happened in Syria with Juventus and
that was for match fixing.
Yeah,
was
but
match
still,
fixing,
but it's still cheating. Like, you know, it's not like it's this unprecedented team.
Hold on, fair point.
Cheating,
That's like, I think it's an idealistic view, Howard, of something that's a multi-billion industry, and the people involved make their living from that industry, and they're not going to be naive enough to completely destroy the brand and the market that they have built.
But there would be an argument there to say the brand and the market.
Thank you, Moss. Over to you, Howard.
There is an argument there with the brand and the market would of the Premier League would actually increase if Man City left the league, because they wouldn't be winning as much. That is a fact. Like people are gonna like if City win the next five Premier Leagues in a row, people around the world will stop watching the Premier League, and that's just a fact. That's not
Well,
positive
yeah,
for the
as
league. That's
in,
negative for the
like,
league.
you
Like
see the same team winning all the time. I
yeah,
get you.
yeah,
I
it's not
understand that point.
spontaneous. You know what I mean? Like it's like it's not like as an exciting league. Like it's the Farmers League as they have in Germany. They have Bayern Munich winning it the whole time, apart from last season. But it just does it takes away from the entertainment, and that is definitely a factor in it. So if the if there's an argument there to say that we can't get rid of them because they're worth too much to the Premier League, I don't know if that's something that everyone in the Premier League would see as a complete negative, getting rid of them. I think personally something has to happen of some sort of magnitude. Otherwise, everything over the last fucking 2 years or whatever that since these charges came out it just sounds like a joke. Like it doesn't look good for the ethical side of the league if they just let it slide. And like UEFA have already said, like the city would have been charged at that time if it wasn't a statute of limitations when it comes to the timeline. So basically, they got off it because the charges were so long ago. Like so, like the UEFA knew that they had done wrong, but they couldn't actually catch them. So like they can't if they let this slide when Premier League know they have the facts. They don't have to use that statute of limitations against them. They can actually go and prove
Allegedly have the facts.
allegedly. Anyway, bottom line is I think it'll be relegation, but just to the championship. I think it'll be relegation, one league. You'll be back up after a year, and it'll be back to normal again. Like I think that will be. It won't be liquidation. It won't be. It won't be 500 point deduction or anything. It'll be, I think, something that shows right. We're not taking any crap, and you're getting cut, but it's and you're going down one division, but you'll be happy enough with that and you'll come back very quickly. The Abu Dhabi or the lads who own it, the sheiks and all that, they'd be happy enough to take that.
The lads.
And
Honestly, they take
but
that.
Howard, like, if
They'd
they get
bite your hand
relegated,
off for that
then
right now. They'd bite your hand off for that right now.
do you think then the retrospectively the titles that they benefited from this
Yeah,
these breaches that led to it, would you think they're
yeah.
going to be stripped of? Is that the stream that you're going to?
That's a good question. Yeah. In regards to the stripping of the titles, they like they'd probably have to take titles off them, to be honest. In the years that they had the charges were applied. So like last year they weren't charged with anything. I think maybe the year before that they weren't charged with anything. But
It's pre
No,
Guardiola, isn't
it
it?
was up. It was up until 2017.
yeah. So the titles they'll have the titles after that, but the titles during them seasons I think will have to be stripped from them. Is what I would say. If they're guilty and they get relegated and found guilty of it, then I'd imagine that has to come with it as well. So relegation, but not it's harsh. Proves a point, says he can't do it, but also won't be a massive hit on Man City in the long term. Like
That's nice.
And there's
like
no,
I don't
there's
think
no,
relegation. I don't think relegation like for you deck down to the championship would be a big deal. For like it'll be 12 months in a different league and then you'll be back. Like that's it. Like
It's nice to
yeah,
try.
exactly.
It is. It's nice to try new things. Like.
Yeah.
That's
It will be though. It'll be the same. Then like the
yeah.
steamroll most teams in the championship. They credit that league for a season by just going and steamroll anyone. People will stop watching the championship. Still won't fill their stadium most weeks, and they'll be
We
back
fill our
up.
stadium most weeks. No, we do.
You don't.
We do.
Don't. It's
Okay.
the same fiddling that goes on with the numbers.
Sure,
for
the
accounts.
boys in the stadium, Dan, they're not even watching the game. They're doing that Poznan thing. They're facing the wrong way. They don't bother one watch them.
I remember saying, I think there's
Sorry,
there's no appeal for this, as far as I'm aware.
I've heard there is by some, and then other people have said it's not. So I don't know.
Yeah, I remember reading a few bits. I listened to a few bits back, kind of their tail end of May, and it was that there was no avenue to appeal where they could appeal the UEFA one. They can't actually. There's no avenue for them to appeal this one to the Premier League unless there's like some other. You can come back at it from a different angle. I don't know, but that's what will be interesting too.
Jack, what's your take? What do you think is going to happen to you?
I'd be close to what
You're gonna be
Dan
found
is
not
saying.
guilty?
No, I'd be close to what Dan is saying. No, genuine. Like I don't think, what do you call? I can't say that we're going to be found guilty. We're going to be found innocent, like, because I don't know. You're all like of the mindset that like we have done something wrong, and
Well, to be honest, that's a lot of smoke. Like,
I appreciate that, but we actually don't know. We're basing all of this on hacked emails by some Portuguese lad who's now in prison, by the way. Okay,
Don't be blaming the Portuguese lad, Dick. Fuck's sake.
I read the book.
He's
called-
enlightened us.
I'm just saying, but that's what
he's
all
called a
this,
whistleblower. He shouldn't be
That's what-
punished for that.
that's what all this is based on. Something I can't even remember his name. Some Portuguese lad who hid because he was hacking into all of these companies' files all over the world. But anyways, yeah, all what do you call it? All these leaked, hacked emails that fair enough, everyone can say fair enough, say you're guilty, etc. But the truth is we don't actually know, and until the trial happens and 3 independent kind of individuals are make the decision. And whatever their decision is, it has to be based on what they have, the facts they have in front of them. As Dan is saying, like, the facts that they have will determine the case. If we have done wrong and it's proven, well, then we deserve to be punished. And if it's 115 charges, we deserve to be punished badly.
Yeah.
But if it's a case that, like, all of this stuff is pure bullshit, and whatever you laugh at that, fair enough. But again, we have no proof. We have no proof.
The
it is or it
Portuguese
isn't.
guy is making up emails.
Why not? I
We'll
mean,
get him on
look,
the pod next week.
Here,
Yeah,
I'm looking here now. I was looking at this Rui Pinto. It says,
Rui Pinto,
hang on.
that's him.
yeah, but it says here he avoided prison with a 4-year suspended sentence.
He's in jail now, trust me. He's in jail.
Deck has
Hang on a
dealt with
second
him.
there.
Deck has dealt with him.
I got
The sheets have put him in jail.
Put him on a plane to Abu Dhabi. Yeah.
No. Look, all I can do, what I've read, I heard he was in jail. If you're reading something that says he's not, fair enough. I'll get Howard on the case.
He avoided. I'm seeing here that he avoided handed 4-year suspended sentence. Because when you said it, I was like, I don't think that it is in jail. That's what I'm reading there now anyway. But I'm only just googling it. So
okay. But anyways, my point is, okay, if we're found to be guilty of all of it, then we deserve to be punished. And what that punishment is, Jesus Christ, I mean, for 115 charges, I mean, realistically, we probably do deserve a big points deduction. I don't think the titles will be taken off us at all. Points deduction.
they're taking off Lance Armstrong. Financial doping, it's the same thing.
Fair enough.
I don't know if they're very much comparable there. No.
What do you call it?
It's financial. It's doping.
I think they took the titles off Juve that time from memory. I think
they put them down 4 divisions, didn't they?
Yeah, a good few. 3 divisions, I think, was it?
And then, down 1.
I thought they went down.
No, they went down 1. They kept 3. I think Trezeguet.
Sorry, I'm thinking of Rangers. Thinking of Rangers.
Oh, that's right. That's what I was thinking. Yeah, Rangers. And they made a great comeback.
They did. But yeah, sorry. No, what do you call it? If we've done wrong, I do think we deserve to be punished heavily, and that looks like a points deduction, possible relegation. If we are found to have done nothing wrong. I don't like the idea of this settlement thing, but I do think that that's what it's going to come, because you all have valid points. And Massian saying that, like, the value of City to Premier League, that does hold, that there's definitely a huge kind of point there. Dan, what you're saying, that there will be a settlement, because that's just the way that these things go now.
And it could be a settlement where it's not actually called a settlement, but it's kind of nearly like, right, okay, we're what's the word, where suppose you're getting your cake and eat it, like it's like, right, okay, we've disciplined them, you've done wrong, but it's not like, say, where both sides look not strong, like, but do you get what I'm trying to say, like that?
Damage limitation.
Yeah. I think that's
so it appeases both sides essentially.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that. That's a hard place to get to, though, mind you, if it was 115. But it's definitely a conversation that will run and run, and it's more
100%.
If it comes out.
And regardless, if you're found innocent, I mean, all 3 of you are still going to think that they're guilty. You know, like
100%.
Exactly.
And if you look in, again, without, like, we're not going to be liable here, so I'm not going to mention names, but there was an awful lot of court cases and some of the most famous people in the world that got off for crimes, but the majority of people think that they're guilty.
Yeah.
So as like that, because there was so much evidence pointing towards X or Y. And again, we live in a very, very corrupt world where money seems to talk. So it wouldn't be out of the realms that they have unlimited money. City. So
that's a good point, Dan. Good point. Yeah.
You know, that money talks, I guess.
Whether we stay in the Premier League, whether we get relegated, Manchester City are going to live forever. Simple as that. Okay.
Another good one.
Right, we need to finish up soon. So we're going to finish on the fantasy football. Dan, how do we get on at the weekend?
Yeah, so as many people would know, Haaland is running amok at present. So our top three actually have all used their triple captain, and they all have triple captain Haaland. So afternoon
Jeez,
delete,
yeah.
Paddy Carney is going into the international break with 274 points. He did another good week there, solid week in that as well, but he's had Haaland since the get-go as triple captain, so he's on 274. Dave McGrath, Johnny, do you know Dave McGrath?
Yeah, Dave's
No?
my friend. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's second there. He's the triple captain as well on 247. And John B. O'Riordan.
Yeah.
Oh, I do.
Well, he's actually Michael O'Riordan, but he goes by John.
Okay, yeah, okay.
Tell us more about that. Why does he go by John?
His brother asked him to take care of his account 3 years ago, and he just kept it going. So
There
Okay,
you go.
fair enough. Fair enough. I thought it was a
yeah.
good story there, but that's fair enough.
So
that's
he
for
had,
points stick.
Yeah.
he's on 246 there. So he's they're them top three anyway.
They've all used a triple captain.
The top three have not
With Haaland with a hat trick. So it was a good choice, really. Haaland with a hat trick.
Yeah.
Points,
So 51 points. If you've done a double game week, you'd be doing well to come away with that. And there's less double game weeks this year, I think, in the Premier League based on the rollout of the extra European matches.
Yeah,
whatever way they've worked it out with it's there's not going to be as many clashes that way, I don't think. So yeah, and then just to give a shout out as well to Evan Monaghan, Bruno Dos Tres. He got 96 this week, which I thought was a fair haul. And one that a few people have put in that seems to have had a really good week there was Bueno, who actually remember last season before he got injured.
Yeah.
Started and had a flyer and is on penalties now that Tony is gone. So quite a few people put him in, and he seemed to be a bit of a difference maker this week. So 14 points he came away with. So again, myself and there is one other lad here that are near the top of the league, and the only two that have been captains. Salah, I think it was Zippy, Johnny Edwards, I think it was him. Yeah, he captained Salah as well. Any you know him? No.
What's his name?
Johnny Edwards.
Johnny Edwards. No, that's
he goes by Zippy. Zippy is his team name. I don't know what Johnny, if you're listening, let us know why Zippy is your name, or maybe don't let us know. But yeah, so
message us privately and let us know.
Yeah, so him and then it's Lenny is Grode Lennon, isn't it?
No.
Andrew Lennon.
Oh, he's Andrew. So there's a Grode Lennon, and you know Grode.
Yeah.
He is he had a decent week there as well. So he's 10th. On he got 87 points, but yeah, I had a little just go through like say the top 15-20, and like pretty much everybody has Haaland as their captain bar myself, and I think that guy Johnny Edwards. I think nearly the majority. Some others have
Zippy.
Yeah, it's interesting to know if you at the top of the league don't have Haaland and Salah, and that was always the question mark at the start: was do you go with Haaland? Do you go with Salah, or do you go with both, or do you go with neither? There is actually some in our group that have neither, but they're not worth talking about because they're miles in. And they will be wildcarding now. So it'll be interesting. Usually the first international break, we get a few that will use the wildcard. We have a couple in our group that have already used the wildcard. I just want to give one shout out here to Sam Farrell, because when I was having a look here, I just came across him, and he took a minus 32.8 in his team. Hang on now, and I'll be able to tell you because this deserves a shout out now. So he took minus 32.
Jesus.
Give me 1 second here now, and I'll just tell you what the crack was here. It was quite funny actually, because he couldn't find his team. So he took a minus 32, right? And I'll just tell you some of the players, the hurt that he's going through right now. Like I'd say he's definitely on the whiskey. So some of the players that he brought in. So he brought in Dan Byrne, who I think had an own goal for Colwell. Okay. He brought in what else did he bring in here? He brought in Martinez for I think that's the goalkeeper, is it? For Ederson. And City got clean sheet today? No, they didn't. No. He brought in Gordon for Bowen, but he brought in Watkins for Solanke. If you just go through all the ones that he brought in, like they haven't given him. It was Pope for Martinez. Nick Pope for Martinez. Yeah, it was another one. Brought in Cucurella for Pedro Porro. Basically, when you just go and look at all the ones he's brought in, like they didn't enhance his points. So he actually finished the week with 38 points. He was minus 32.
Minus
32. Yeah, so I just thought he deserved a shout out because I thought that was a very interesting tactic. Just
bold move.
and keep your. I presume he's keeping his wild card. He hasn't already used it. But yeah, when you look through it there, like there's so many that have
Oh.
Haaland as their captain. So as we was referenced earlier in the podcast, Haaland and Salah both have 41 points, tied after 3 weeks. But it's going to be interesting to see what way people decide to play it going forward. Palmer, I think, is another one that not that many have. A lot of people transferred him in this week, so he's just another one that I think, like, is he one that you can go without having the season, considering damage you done last year. So that's their fantasy football at the moment. Lads, I don't see you ahead of me anyway, but you're not too far behind me, I don't think, are you?
I'm ahead of you, Dan. Don't worry about that.
No, let me see. So I'm on 229, and Howard, you're on 222.
Good
And
call, Howard.
I had a good week. I'm up
Massey,
around
where is
40
Massey?
or 50th. I'm up about 20 places anyway, so improving.
Very good.
Yeah, anyway. Yeah.
All right, what do you call it? I will finish on the Super 6 predictions. So into an international week, so we're taking a break for 2 weeks. But Damien McDermott on 43 points. Richard Coulter, Dan, your brother, on 41 points.
Coulter. What's wrong with you? Like, you don't seem to be able to get my name right.
Right.
Deck O'Cunter. Does I call you Deck O'Cunter?
Owen Costello, call me King. Okay.
But anyway, my brother Richard, is his first time ever doing Super 6, and whatever's going on, the man is on fire. Yeah.
Very good. I'll tell you what, right? I'm also on fire in it. I'm going to finish on this in a last man standing thing. Okay, this is pure luck. I'm in a last man standing thing with a club here in town. And my first pick
You're not allowed to say their name.
St. Joseph's Football Club. Like, and there's 11 left. Okay, my first pick was Newcastle the first week. Second pick was Spurs, and this week my pick was Brentford. Okay, and there's 11 of us left. So I've yet to use City, Arsenal, Liverpool, Chelsea, and there's 11 of us left. And I've looked at what all of the others who they have picked as well. Like, I mean, this is a cert doesn't exist, but this is as close to a cert as they're ever going to get. I'm going to be 500
This
euro
is the
richer.
moment you realize. This is your Kevin Keegan moment. Where you realize where you fucked up, Deck, and you're going to knock
chances are I'll probably get brave and I'll mess it up, but like, you know, I'm in a good position here. Like,
it'll just be poetic the week that he's there. He's about to win.
Fail. Yeah. I have my
pick City, and City don't win.
My next 3 fixtures are the City and Brentford, Liverpool and Bournemouth, and then Arsenal and Leicester. I think it is in that order. That's
what you're picking.
Order. Yeah, based on next week's City.
You're playing it safe. Yeah.
And Liverpool. Oh, I mean, they've all picked the big teams. Like, I mean, it'd be harder for me to lose this than to win it. Like. But anyway, we'll see.
The Premier League is so unpredictable, and the Champions League. The thing you're forgetting, Declan, is the Champions League is about to start, and there will be a lot of other dirty results that will come.
We'll see. I could get my comeuppance. All right, listen, lads. Thank you very much as always. That was good crack, good predictions. Cheers to everyone who is watching and listening. Our numbers and our viewers continue to be good each week, so we're doing something right. Do subscribe on YouTube and follow us on Spotify. And yeah, lads, thank you very much as always. We'll be chatting to you next week.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers, Deck.
Thanks, Deck.
Thanks,
all right, cheers, lads.
Cheers, all the best.
Good luck.
Good luck.